throwing nukes left and right. Do the people of Appalachia think a bomb is a plaything?
The elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get to meet them in person someday.
I'm never gonna make a name for myself holding down the fort.
Hello, civilian. I don't mean to be rude,
I get to go
but what
out and
exactly
prove
are
my
you
worth.
doing up here?
New recruits, Night Shin's training.
Oh,
weapons,
a prospective
things
initiate.
Like this.
The Night
We're
Shin
gonna be
sent you.
invincible.
And I guess we're both in luck. Paladin Romani makes the call on new recruits, but the Knight and I have some influence. It just so happens I'm in need of someone to help me out on a little mission. If you're interested, I can bring you along and put you to work. Do a good job, and I'll send a recommendation your way. How about it?
The settlers want to rebuild, but they're only looking to the future. We need to understand
Our
the
new
past
base
as
is
well,
littered with
and
old
make the same
technology.
mistakes going
But there's
forward.
something in particular I want to investigate.
One day,
It's
I'll
down in the bowels of
Then
this
I'll show those
place,
raiders
a
who's
part of
boss.
Atlas that we've cornered off. I'm not keen on going alone, so I'd like some backup.
I have everything I need here.
Glad we can come to an agreement. Any questions before we start?
I'm never gonna
All
make a
right,
name for myself
fire
holding down
away.
the fort.
Go home. Let us
What do
take
I get to go
Ideally,
out and prove
yes,
my worth?
actually. In practice, not at all. We're supposed to be the
Old
lore
world has
keepers,
so much
preserving
to teach
old
us.
technology for the betterment of today. Instead, I spend all my time soldering wires on busted comms equipment or tightening screws on tracking scanners. This investigation will be a breath of fresh air. It's what being a scribe should be about.
The elders have so much to teach us. I hope I'll get
Can
to
I
meet
do
them in
it?
person someday.
Yes, but it's not my life's calling.
The
Believe it or
settlers wanna
not,
rebuild,
I
but
didn't
they're only
choose
looking
to be
the
a
future.
scribe.
We need to understand
I was
the
born
past as
into
well,
it.
or we'll make the
My
same mistakes
parents
going
chose this
forward.
life for me. I've gotten used to it, but it isn't mine. Night Shin would throw a fit if he heard just how unprofessional I was now.
We'll be ready.
We should get back to business. Sorry. Business only.
Everything makes sense now. This is my place, my mission.
Normally I would, but today you came along. We have a lot of capable initiates, but we could always use more. Handle yourself well, and I'll be happy to vouch for you.
I'm glad we guard our tech closely.
Fine, protect
Not
and
as a
preserve.
civilian. However, if Paladin Romani lets you join our ranks, then I might reconsider. Especially if you're a big help on this mission. Sure. Ready to go? Great. Unfortunately, I need to finish up a few things here. Head downstairs and I'll meet you in a bit.
I can do more than just fight.
Good, you're here. So, how do you feel about reading comprehension? I was hoping to start out by sweeping the area for documentation left behind from before the war. Are you trying to get on my good side? Because that's how you get on my good side. But enough about that. I'd like to get started. Let's head downstairs and see what we can turn up. Here's a document. This must be Dr. Hammond, Atlas's lead scientist. We recovered some of his holotapes and logs in our initial sweep of the area. This tech down here is his handiwork, and he couldn't give it up. Even after the war, I should make arrangements for a proper burial. This looks like what we need. I think this is good. Let's talk for a sec. That should be enough to start. Let me take a look. Atlas decommission report. So the project was in bad shape after all? I knew it sounded too good to be true. Fascinating. Wow. This is some seriously classified stuff that I just let you read, isn't it? I wasn't supposed to show you any of this. I guess you're right. There's only so much I can tell you, but I'll share what I feel is relevant. Atlas wasn't exactly an observatory before the war. That was just a front. The military conducted research here. Pretty advanced research. We're down here to investigate and see what's worth salvaging for the Brotherhood. Whoa, 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 whoa. Looting is absolutely not what we're doing here. Everything of worth that we remove from this substructure is going with me, up to my lab to be cataloged and analyzed. Now, let's follow up on some leads from this report. I'd like to do a quick inspection of some key components that should be nearby. There's probably a terminal around here. If it's still running, we can do a diagnostics test. That will tell us about some of the less accessible hardware. The report mentioned that the machine's intake pump was under a lot of pressure. Let's find the release valve for that and give it a spin, see what happens. Finally, the lower core on this level should have a wiring box. Why don't we take a glance at that to get an idea of the electrical hookups? The diagnostics test can tell us the state of some key components that we won't be able to test manually. Keep an eye on the state of each component and we'll want to look into them after the initial check. The release valve is an emergency mechanism that can relieve pressure on the intake pipes if they come under stress. If all is well, we'll just be able to turn it and nothing out of the ordinary will happen. Think of the wires like the blood vessels of the machine. Without the electricity running through them, nothing's going to work. We just need to do a little checkup and see what condition they're in. Should be a simple inspection. You can have point, but I'll be looking over your shoulder the whole way. Take note of the details and we'll discuss how it goes after. Interesting. Looks like we've got company. We survived. Glad that's over with. Glad that's over with. That does it for the inspection. Let's talk. All right, let's go over the inspection results. The diagnostics check revealed some issues. Flux disruption in the induction loop, intake valves ruptured, and the ion focus? Misaligned. Problematic to say the least. Next, we have the release valve. That went... Well, what was your assessment? It certainly did. I'm going to mark that down as bad. Last but not least, the wiring. The wires were... Yep. I think the warm reception they gave us also points to that. Okay, well, sorry about the pop quiz. But in general, you're handling yourself well, so far. Nobody does, outside of a classroom. That's why I love to evaluate new prospects this way. If I'm going to recommend you to Paladin Romani, I need to know you're serious. Can you pay attention? Think on your feet? If you can, you are in my favor. If you can't, then, well, maybe I reconsider my recommendation. I'm worried about what our inspection turned up. There are a few parts I'd like to extract and examine in my lab. There's the pressure gauge, the core processor, and the ion focus. They should be upstairs. There's a lot I can learn from examining them if we can pull them out and get them back to my lab in decent condition. I want to take some notes on the core up there, so I'm going to leave the parts removal to you. Each extraction will be a little different, but in general, you'll want to use a light touch. I want the components in good condition, so please be careful. Any questions, or are you ready to get started? I'm counting on you. Let's see what you can do. Oh, I thought of one more thing. Can you pick up the induction coil up there on the machine core? Huh? What was that? That doesn't sound good.
Hello. Try not to breathe out.
Here we go.
This is going to hurt you a lot more than me.
Close one.
I really hope your room is up to date.
We survived. Whew. Whatever you did up there, the security system sure didn't like it. Thanks for the backup. I doubt I could have handled that on my own. Now that that's over with, let me take a look at what you've collected. The pressure gauge looks like it's in good condition. The core processor is pristine. Good work on that. The ion focus looks usable. Impressive. The induction coil seems fine. That's a relief. And what is this? This is... Is this ultrasight? Fascinating. This looks like some kind of compact power source. None of the documents, none of the terminals said anything about this. Did this power the whole machine? The fuel of the future. I'd heard the stories, but to think I could hold so much energy in my hands like this? Project Atlas may be beyond our power to repair, but we might have something here. I expected the machine to use a small reactor's worth of energy. They condensed that into a container I can hold in my hands. Oh, I could do a lot with this. You were a big help. I'm sure you have what it takes to be an initiate, and soon. Here, take this letter to Paladin Romani. She'll make the final call on letting you into the Brotherhood, but my wreck may tip the scales. I'm going back upstairs to take a look at these components. I need to catalog our findings. If nothing else, this ultrasight battery has piqued my interest. There's a lot I could learn from reverse engineering it. Oh, I'm giving you access to my private terminal, too. It has all the logs we recovered from when we moved in. After what we just went through, I think you deserve to know more about Project Atlas. Take a look if you get some free time. Thanks again for your help, and good luck with the Paladin.